Today is Saturday, which means it is Parkrun Day, and we are off to Bath Skyline Parkrun. So this is located to the southeast side of Bath and very close to the Bath Clinic as well. And it's around all the fields, quite a stunning scenery around there as well. It's also the woods section that you run through too, and then it's a bit of uphill and downhill too, so you've got to be ready for a difficult park run this week. The course is on a variety of different terrains, from a grass/muddy start to trail, and there is some little bits of hard standing as well. So I definitely recommend to bring your trail shoes if you do manage to have those. However, road shoes would have been okay on the day as it was pretty dry. The course is a one-lapper with a small loop which comes off of that one lap but rejoins it, and it is quite a challenging one as well. It is mostly flat. However, there is a section of steps which definitely takes a huge chunk off your time, and for that reason it is not one for your PB. With that being said, although it's a hard park run, it is a stunning one at that, so it's definitely worth doing. And if you do have a dog, it is also dog friendly, but as you can guess, with the steps, it's obviously not going to be buggy/pram friendly, and unfortunately as well, there are no toilets that are near to the start, so make sure you go before you arrive at the park run. Along with it being a difficult park run, it is also a very busy park run with around 450 participants on the day that I went, so it can be quite difficult at the start to get past people, but it is also quite a wide track to begin with as well. That bottleneck, you need to be careful, but we'll take a look at that in just a moment. But before we take a look at the course, if you don't know what a park run is, it is essentially a 5k run which is ran and marshalled by a group of volunteers who also time the event. It is all completely free, and then once you get to the end of the finish line, you get given your official top position and then emailed your official time later on. So let's take a look at a summary of the course then. So it is a one-lapper like we said, and this is the section where you go around up some stairs. You can see the elevation there in that top left hand side. Then you continue down past the wood section, and then you're back on the fields before heading your way towards the finish line with an elevation gain of approximately 44 metres and a max elevation of 178 metres. And so we've had a look at the summary of the course now in a bit more detail, so I can give you a few tips and tricks on the way round. So you're going to start off here in the starting open field towards the northern side. You're going to make your way across this field, dodging rabbit holes, so be careful of those. You don't want to twist your ankle on them before making your way onto the cycle track. This is all downhill now to the bottom before you turn right and move into the loop. You're going to run for about approximately 200 meters, turn right again and make your way up towards the stairs. There is a little bit of a slippery slope in this section here, but then after that it's all fine. It's quite a picturesque area as well before you do manage to hit these woodland steps. Now I definitely recommend walking up these steps. I didn't on the day, as we will see later on in the video, but I definitely recommend to walk up those. Then once you've done that, you've completed the loop, you head your way back down the cycle track towards the woodland trail. This again is a stunning area, mostly flat, is a bit undulating up and down, but you're going to run your way through that woodland trail past the play area and then make your way uphill towards the potato field. So this is a slight gradual uphill again as you make your way towards the finish line. You cross through 3 gates before making your way back to that open field and to the finish line. So it's a very stunning park run. I definitely recommend going, and after you can go and check out Bath as well, which is a very stunning city if you have never been. So that is the course, and this is the Bath Skyline Parkrun record. So as you can see, the fastest male was Alex Carter with a time of 15 minutes and 39 seconds. The fastest female being Jessica Gibbon with a time of 16 minutes and 57 seconds. Both unbelievably fast, bearing in mind how hard this park run is. The average number of runners is around 294, so pretty busy one, and especially gets busier I think over the summer months when there's more people visiting on holiday, with an average time of 28 minutes and 50 seconds. And now let's have an update of my stats so far. So I've done 42 runs, but it's 27 different locations excluding this one. My best finish position was 4th, which was at Zaloni Jar. My fastest time was at Summerdale Pavilion with a time of 22:32, all the way down to the Chipping Sodbury, Alexandra and Severn Bridge time of 23:23. So this one being a difficult one, pretty hilly and different terrains, I can't see us making it onto the leaderboard this week. Now what you've all been waiting for, the course. So it was a really good first timers briefing explaining what the course was like, and we are off, so hopefully we can try and get a decent time on this one, but we know it is quite difficult, and as you can see it's basically a stampede at the start towards a bottleneck. And remember as well to be careful of any rabbit holes which are in the grass, because as you can see just down below, it is pretty long, the grass in this section, so it's really easy to trip over, so do make sure to be careful and don't trip anyone else up either. We've come out fairly quickly at sort of a 5:20 pace, so hopefully we can speed this up if we want to try and get on the leaderboard, but this, as we said at the start, is quite a slow one compared to a lot of the flatter ones which I've done, so I don't see us getting onto the leaderboard this week. So you may be able to see that finish funnel on that left hand side. This is the last section, last bit of the grass section to begin with. You can see a bit of mud here as well, so on a wet day it definitely recommend trail shoes. On this sort of day where it's nice and dry, then road shoes should be fine. But we're now moving on to the hard standing tarmac, which is the cycle path, but as you can see it bottlenecks again there, so everyone is slowing down. Our pace dropped there to about 5:55, but we've now brought it back up to about 5 on the dot. So we're now heading our way down this cycle path. It is going to gradually decline now. You can see the elevation's currently at 172, 173, and it will begin to drop down, as you can see now, to 171 and further down. And you can see on the map in that bottom left hand corner that the loop is to the left hand side, so we're just heading our way down now towards the start of the loop. And also, if you do want any information on the elevation or the pace that I did on the day or the route, you can check out my Strava, which I've left down in the description below. And also, if you are enjoying these sort of videos and you want to see some more, hit that subscribe button. Every Friday we bring out a new video, and also don't forget to hit that like button if you're enjoying this one. But as you can see, it is more of a trail sort of path now. It's still hard standing though, and we are now halfway down the cycle track before we turn off to the right in just a moment. Currently on a time of 3:30, and we've almost done 1 kilometre on 0.8, so we're doing quite well to begin with. Pretty fast start, but can't see it being a PB time. And we hit that 1 kilometre mark with a time of about 4:19, so pretty happy with that start to begin with. If we kept this up, we probably would just about make it onto that leaderboard, but this is probably the easiest section of the whole run. So this is all the downhill bits. We've got an uphill section coming up in just a moment once we get to this corner. You can see on that right hand side where people have turned off to the right to go around the loop, but it's still hard standing. Do be careful of cyclists and other runners as well down that left hand side. You don't want to collide with them, but we're doing quite well at the moment. 4:52, and we are just about to turn right. The marshals clapping us on there, the right and the left hand side, dog walkers as well. And remember, you can have dogs on this course, but no buggies. There we go, pointed off to this right hand side onto the trail path. Now you can see the field on the right there. Still quite a tight course for how busy it is, so do be careful all the time. Make sure you don't trip anyone up, and try and keep to the one side, whichever side is going slower, so that people can overtake. We're now about a quarter / a third of the way around the loop. We've got to be careful of the slippery slope, is what they said. So if it is a wet day that you are going, then do make sure to be careful of this bit here being slippy. As you can see, it is all downhill, so you don't want to lose your footing on the day that we went. Obviously it was very dry, so it was fine. However, if it had been raining, you can see that that slope would be very slippy. It's gone quite dark under this section as well, but we're now heading our way back uphill. You can see we've lost about 20 meters there of elevation, but we're heading towards the steps now, which is, let me tell you, a killer. Literally, when I say steps, I mean steps. As you can see though, it is quite nice surroundings, so looking off to the left hand side here, it is stunning. But here are the steps, 37 steps to go up, a very difficult one, and I recommend, I didn't do this, as you can see, I'm going for the overtake here, but I definitely recommend walking up these steps rather than trying to pace it up the steps, because after these stairs your legs are going to die. So even the fast runners tend to walk up the steps as well, so just be careful of this section. You don't take away too much energy, as there are 37 steps to go up, and also do keep to the left hand side so that people that do want to go quickly can run around that right hand side. But you can see just how steep it is from the GoPro footage, but we have made it up to the top, and it is back to 170 meters elevation, so you can see it's a very quick steep incline. Legs are now dying. See, the guy in front is struggling just like I am right now, but we are going to try and push on because the next section is back to the tarmac cycle path, which is downhill. You can see it's currently trail right now, and on a wet day you can see that it could probably get quite muddy here, so again, recommending those trail shoes. And that is the loop complete, and as you can see, my pace has dropped to about top end of 4 minutes, 5 minutes, so we are struggling right now, and my legs were burning following that hill. But we're back onto the cycle hard standing track, and we're heading our way back down the hill to the bottom, where we're then going to turn off to the left this time and work our way through the flat woodland rather than going back round to the stairs. And there we go, so we've just hit 2.5 kilometers down there in that bottom right hand corner with a time of around 11:35. So to be fair, if we kept at this pace, it could be leaderboard worthy. However, we always know that my 3rd and 4th kilometers are always the slowest. I definitely need to improve on that, but I feel that most people probably have the same sort of issue where the 3rd and 4th kilometers are slower than the first 2. So I can't see us getting the PB this week, but you never know. It's a stunning surroundings, and that is what we enjoy about Parkrun, that it's not always about the time that we get, because we know that in those hillier ones like this, we are not going to make it onto that leaderboard. And we are coming up to the end of the cycle track, turning our way to the left onto the woodland trail. Now look how stunning this is. I know the camera doesn't quite give it justice as being there, but we have managed to hit 3 kilometers with a time of 14 minutes. So we're doing okay. Have slowed down a little bit from the previous kilometer, which is a surprise because we were going downhill, but it is to be expected as we had knackered ourselves out from the step section. But we're doing okay at the moment. This is all flat now, so it's quite a nice little run through the woods before we're going to head our way back uphill towards the fields where we started. So we're just coming up to about 3.5 kilometers. There's a couple of stumps and things here which you do need to look out for. You don't want to trip over those. It is quite leafy around here too, but we're keeping it at a pace of between sort of 5 and 6 minutes at the moment. It keeps going up and down because I am feeling knackered. I'm usually at a pace of around 4:30 to 5 minutes. You can see just how much more difficult I found this one than usual. Obviously, if you're slower, keep to the left hand side so that people can overtake around the right. But it's still a fairly flat run at the moment. It's on 168 to 174 meters elevation. It's sort of just fluctuating between there, but we're doing okay. 17 minutes in. I don't think it's going to be a PB time this week. There we go, so we're heading out of the woodland trail towards sort of the play area, which is the next of the checkpoint, and now we're heading our way up towards the field. So it's our final little bit under the woods, and then it is back to sort of a very gradual, maybe uphill sort of towards the finish line. So we are turning left, we're out of the woodland trail and heading towards the field. So you can see that it is still like a gravel path right now, so you've got all the different terrains on the foot. So it's a stunning view though across Bath Skyline, and I have to recommend this Parkrun for the aesthetics rather than the chance of getting a PB. That was the long straight with a very gradual incline. We've probably gone up about 4 or 5 meters of elevation down there in that bottom right hand corner. Then it's a tight 90-degree bend as we make our way to the potato field. So the potato field there on that right hand side, but it is all on grass now till the finish line. So we're just heading basically through different fields, going past different gates like we said at the start, the elevation's gone up to about 180 meters, so it is a very gradual incline, but you don't really feel it too much. I am quite knackered though, my legs are dying since the steps, to be honest, so I can't stress how much I'd say to walk up those stairs. Even if you want to run up them, I can stress to walk up them, and it'll hopefully make it a lot easier for you when you do the run. We're now doing an arc around the potato field, heading our way off to the next gate into the next field. So the marshal stood there, so you have to run around the right hand side because there are quite lots of roots and stuff there which could trip you over. We've made our way through the gate, following the path now into the next field, and then once we get to the far end of this field, we're going to turn left and it's the final sprint to the finish line. So we need to be wary of all the overgrown vegetation there on that left and right hand side, but it probably fits only about 2 people, so don't keep towards the centre, otherwise no one will be able to overtake you if they are going at a faster pace. They do try and keep to one side so that people can overtake. And now we are just coming up towards the end of this field. Then it's another sharp 90-degree bend, which you'll see in just a second. So past that gate, don't get taken out by either side of that gate, through the final gate, and you might recognise the yellow plants here on that right hand side. I forgot what they're called actually, to be honest. And then into the final field. Here we go, and it's the sprint finish now to the end. She's wearing a very fitting top for this field. She's got the bright yellow with all the bright yellow buttercups, that's the name of them. All the bright yellow buttercups there surrounding us. We're on 23:44. Can't see it being a PB this week. We're trying to catch up on this final sprint. We're currently in 113th position, slipping there into 112th. This is all on grass, so on a muddy day, this probably will be a lot more difficult, but we're trying to sprint towards the end now, catching up there with the people ahead of us, and this is what I like about Parkrun, because I've now got a goal to try and catch the people in front. You can see in the far distance all the people that have finished. Here's a couple of runners which are making their way back down the course, so it's sprinting towards the end. We've gone down to a 3:30 time at the moment, so I wish we could do that the whole way around, but there is no chance I'll be able to keep this pace, but we're doing quite well. 24:38. Can we get under 25 minutes? That is the question. Still sprinting towards the end here. This field feels like it's going on forever. We're near to the end now. The final sprint, there's the finish line. The 2 timers are on the left and right hand side, and we get a time there of 24:55 with a position of 112. So I'm pretty happy with that one because it is quite difficult, and we did manage to break that 25-minute time, but as you can see, it's a stunning atmosphere. Bath Skyline complete, and that is the first B that we have done as well, so we're able to tick off the B on that alphabeteer challenge, and it was a stunning one to do so as well, but also a very difficult one. With it being all around field and woodland trails, it is probably one of the prettiest park runs which I have done, and it is just on the outskirts of Bath as well, so you can definitely go and check Bath out after. I'd also like to say a huge thank you to all of the volunteers that were there on the day. Without them, the park runs could not go ahead, so thank you very much to you all. However, even though the aesthetics are so stunning, there are also a lot of pinch points, which means that it slows you down and makes it difficult to get a PB. So we're going to start off with the first one, which is the multiple terrain. So there's lots of different terrains, especially the grass, and I can imagine that's going to be pretty muddy as well in the winter months. The second one is obviously going to be the dreaded steps. 37 steps, which are very difficult, and I definitely recommend walking up of those rather than running up them. And then also another one I'd say is probably the bends, the turns and bends. So there's obviously a lot of 90-degree bends into different fields and lots of bottlenecks as well, which leads us on to our last one, which is that it's pretty busy. So that is going to slow you down as well if you're not near to the front at the start. You may get a slow start, and then but after a while you can probably pick it up as it spreads out a little bit. And now we are moving on to the tips and tricks section for those of you who are wanting to attend either this week or in the future. So we'll start off with transport. Public transport, if you want to get there by train, you can get to the Bath train station, and then from there it is either a 30-minute walk to the start or a 7-minute drive. So you can probably get a taxi or maybe try and get a bus from there to the park run. And then if you want to get the public buses, you can take the U1, and that can either drop you off at the Copesland bus stop or the Oakley bus stop, both on Claverton Drive. And then from there it is a 10-minute walk down to the parkrun start line. And then finally, if you've got no other option but to drive, there is the BMI Bath Health Clinic parking spots, which are located here, so you can park there. There's plenty of spaces, but what you do need to remember is that from here it is a 20-minute walk up to the start line, so make sure that you do take that into consideration, otherwise you'll be late. It's a really lovely walk, to be honest, and you are walking through most of the route as well, so you can give it a quick scout as well as you make your way up to the start. And then finally, if you're like me and love to enjoy a post-park run coffee and cake, you can make your way over to the Coombe Grove Manor Hotel, which is very close to where you park if you do park at the BMI Health Clinic. So it's nice to just to the south of that, and it's about a 5 to 10 minute walk from there. So that is all of the tips for everyone, but if you do have any more tips, do make sure to let us know down in that comment section below. I'm sure there's some locals out there that will know some better tips or some other shortcuts and better places to park and things like that. So do make sure to let us know, and I'll try and pin them up to the top. But we'll have a look back at my stats now and see how we've improved. So we've gone up to 43 different park runs now with 28 different locations. The best finish position and all of my fastest times all stay the same, but that was to be expected, as we didn't think that this one was going to make it onto the leaderboard. That is it for Bath Skyline Park Run. It was a really stunning one and we really enjoyed it. But if you want to go and check out last week's park run, we went off to Street, which is located near Glastonbury, and that was great fun as well, and there's lots to see there. Or you can go and check out my worldwide park run playlist, which has all of my park runs from ones in Poland, Norway, Finland, Ireland, Belfast, lots of different locations, so you can go and check those out there. Next week we are off up north towards the Midlands, where we are heading off to Derby, and we're going to complete Markeaton Park Run, which I've heard is a fairly difficult one. So I hope you all enjoyed this one, and we can go and check that one out next week. So I'll see you all in the next one.